You know, as the old saying goes, there's always a Buffalo connection. And this Cinco de Mayo, we're revisiting a story about one of the important pieces of Mexican history that actually happened right here. Here's Pete Gallivan with this unknown story of Western New York.
All right, we know history's everywhere, especially here in Buffalo. Take this parking lot, for example. It's right down the street from Shays. You probably walked by it, maybe parked in it at one point or another. But 130 years ago, there was a building here, and in that building was a man who gave music lessons. That man also wrote the Mexican national anthem.
Jaime Nuno lived here in Western New York, lived in Buffalo, died here in Buffalo, and was buried at Forest Lawn Cemetery.
Okay, so how did the author of the Mexican national anthem come to live in the Queen City? Well, it's a winding road. He was born in Spain in 1824, studied music, and then moved to Cuba when he was 27. That's where he met Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna, the former and future Mexican president. When Santa Anna returned to power in Mexico, Nuno went with him to oversee the military bands. Well, at the time, the government was also holding a contest to come up with a national anthem. Nuno entered and won. Unfortunately, Santa Anna was overthrown, so Nuno fled to New York City to work as a conductor and an opera director. Soon he became burned out, and a friend suggested teaching and said there might be opportunities in the growing city of Buffalo.
We needed sort of a starting point of creating this project.
The Hispanic Heritage Council recently put together a timeline of Hispanic influence in Western New York, starting in 1869 with Jaime Nuno. Nuno began to make his mark. The 1888 City Directory shows him as music director at First Presbyterian Church and teaching on Pearl Street. And then came the Pan Am Exposition of 1901.
During the Pan American Exposition, Honduras, Mexico, Ecuador, Puerto Rico were represented.
For the Mexican exhibit, organizers imported a Mexican military band. Now, the Mexican military band got excited when they found out that Nuno was living here in Buffalo. They knew he lived on Delaware Avenue, but weren't exactly sure what the address was, so they marched up and down the avenue playing the Mexican national anthem. And sure enough, eventually, Nuno, whose house stood at 169 Delaware, came out. At the age of 77, he was rediscovered right here in one of the unknown stories of Western New York.